Kael was known as the finest hunter in his village. From a young age, he could track any creature, and his arrow always flew true. But one legend haunted him, the tale of the Shadow Cat, a magnificent tiger that no hunter had ever managed to capture. Kael vowed he would be the one to claim its legendary pelt. The village elders spoke of the tiger in hushed tones. They said it was no ordinary beast, but the forest's ancient guardian, a spirit of the wild. They warned that to hunt, it was to challenge the forest itself, a challenge no one had ever won. But Kael's pride was stronger than his fear. He ventured into the deep woods, a place where the trees were so old their branches seemed to hold up the sky. For days he tracked, following broken twigs and faint prints, but the Shadow Cat remained a ghost. Lost and frustrated, he took shelter in the hollow of a great oak. There, hidden within the wood, he found an old pouch left behind by a traveler long ago. Inside was not a tool or a treasure, but a single, smooth stone amulet, carved with the image of a roaring tiger. Feeling a strange connection to the object, Kael put the amulet on. A sudden warmth spread through him, and the silent forest erupted into a symphony of whispers. It was not a sound he heard with his ears, but with his heart. He could understand everything. He could hear the weary sighs of the ancient trees, the cheerful gossip of the stream, and the fearful warnings of the birds. The Whispering Amulet did not just let him hear animals. It let him hear the very soul of the forest. With this new magic, tracking the Shadow Cat was simple. He could hear the rustle of its passing in the leaves, feel the echo of its powerful paws on the earth. He was no longer just a hunter. He was a part of the forest's awareness, and the tiger could not hide from him. He found him in a hidden glade, a creature of breathtaking power and grace. This was the moment. He drew his bow, the arrow pointed directly at the great beast's heart. He held his breath, ready for the final, triumphant shot. But then, a voice, deep and ancient, filled his mind. It was not a roar, but a clear, weary thought from the tiger. Another one, another hunter who comes to take, but never to give back. Do you not see what your kind is doing to this home? Kael faltered, his arrow dropping. A talking tiger, a thinking, feeling guardian. This was not the mindless beast of legend. All his life, he had seen animals as prizes. Now, for the first time, he saw a soul. He had to know more. He followed Raja not as a hunter, but as a student. The great tiger led him to a river that no longer sang, but choked on the filth and waste from a nearby human settlement. Through the amulet, Kael felt the river's agony, a slow, sickening poison. Raja then showed him a great wound in the earth, a part of the forest turned to ash by a fire left by thoughtless campers. He heard the sorrowful whispers of the spirits of the fallen trees, a silent scream that echoed in his soul. His heart heavy, Kael saw a bear cub caught in a cruel poacher's trap. He watched, frozen, as the Shadow Cat approached. But there was no violence. With a gentle strength, Raja freed the terrified cub, nudging it back towards its mother. In that moment, Kael saw the truth. The tiger was not the monster, his hunt for glory was just another act of taking, another wound inflicted upon this sacred place. The Whispering Amulet had not made him a better hunter. It had shown him he should not be a hunter at all. But as Kael was grappling with his new understanding, a greater danger emerged. Poachers, drawn by the same legends, had entered the forest. They did not seek a pelt, but the living tiger itself, to sell to a cruel collector in a faraway land. They were ruthless and cunning, and they managed to trap the great guardian. Raja fought with all his might, but the thick ropes and iron cages were too much. For the first time, the spirit of the forest was about to be broken, but they had not counted on a second guardian. Kael, using the skills he had honed his entire life, became a whirlwind of action. His arrows did not seek flesh, but rope. He set traps, not for animals, but for the poachers, using his knowledge of the forest to confuse and ensnare them. Freed from the nets, Raja joined the fight, and together, man and tiger drove the poachers from the forest. In the quiet aftermath, they stood together, no longer hunter and prey, but allies. A silent understanding passed between them, a bond forged in mutual respect. Kael returned to his village, but not with a trophy. He brought back a story of truth. He used the amulet to let the elders hear the forest's pain, to understand the consequence of their carelessness. He was no longer Kael the hunter, but Kael, the voice of the forest. And so, the legend changed. It was no longer about a fearsome beast to be conquered, but of two guardians, one of the wild and one of mankind, who worked together to heal the world they both called home. For Kael had learned the greatest lesson of all, that true honor is not found in what you can take, but in what you choose to protect. Good night, Kael. Good night, Raja. Subscribe for more storytelling.